I love days like today. I love them because we're all traveling on the same path, but what lies ahead for many of us may be totally different. These days are very special. We're talking about Ahsoka that's coming in just a couple of days for all of us, whether we want it to or not. It is here. And this will be the last show that we have before the show actually comes out. So thank you very much for being here. So that is what we're doing, but that's not all that we're doing. Definitely give you guys major Star Wars updates and all the minor and major things that we want to talk about. But we are definitely going to get deep into some Ahsoka. We got a great show planned for you guys. Welcome to Echo Base Network Live, our Saturday night Star Wars show. We are honored by your presence, of course. Welcome to our moderators, our member family, all of our subscribers, and any of our guests. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just really excited. Nick is traveling. He's got a little thing that he's doing. So safe travels to Nick. He will be back on Thursday. We are working on a project together, and we're going to be getting some big information out to you guys. We need your help. We need your help. So Nick and I are together on this, and we're very excited to be doing this. And it's something that we think is going to help the channel moving forward. More about that very soon. But and in the meantime, Nick will be watching and putting his views of Ahsoka on Patreon for all of our patrons. So you could watch the entire thing with Nick as he reacts. I will do breakdowns, post watching on the YouTube side of things, and then of course we'll both be talking about it on our live streams. So welcome to Echo Base Network, where nothing is more important than you, the community here at EBN, because you are what makes this place special and unique, and honestly the best place on YouTube, in my opinion. We've got quite a few people here right here at the top of the show, and more people are trickling in. Good grief, 50 more people since I looked. So welcome to you. I'm not going to get you all, but I do want to recognize the people that I saw in the pre-show. I hope that you enjoyed the pre-show. I'll change the music soon, guys. I'll change the music soon. Disinferno, welcome. Coach Dragon is in the house. Vanessa Floria, Debbie Young, fooled you. Bryce Bergman, Angelina Serini, William Ripke, Rogue Sarge, my man. Graph Webb, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Leslie Tarkin, Blood Guilty Gaming, Flacco Zoldi, Felix Kiros, Fabu Brick, nice. Eli Martin, Ted's Nerd World, Thrawn, Mars Needs Max, Mary Lanning, Matt Risman, Mandalore, Green Lantern 345, Rachel Priggle, David Molinarolo. Good to see you, David. Been a long time, man. Peak Obi-Wan, what is up, man? Thank you for the messages. The legendary Tron, he fights for the users. Let's go, Tron. Hephaestus, good to see you, Rob. Blazer Hawk, Darren, Aaron Smith Jr., Leia Rose, Brandon Deeks, Dan Grissom, Matt G, Tex Caliber, Epicer Recipe. I think I said that right. I don't know. Let me know. Richard L. Leonidas the First. I am Siler. Venger. Jinda Jiver. Mr. Cheap Chips. Negoic. Negoic. I'm from Alabama. Give me grace. Donald J. Skywalker. Pissin' Bullets. Everybody loves Pissin' Bullets. Doom Guy. George De Jesus. Galf 345, CobraCon 007, Revan, Force is strong with this one, Sith Assassin Trailer, Marcus Wojcik, Killer Bro Gaming, Al Simmons Hellspawn, George Valentine, Stephen S, DV Ratchet, Black Dragon, I Have No Purpose. Feel like I'm talking about myself. Good name. Deadline 247, Darcipio, Pasta Master, Reese Mack, Jerry Starchild, Jeff Pohl, Anton's World of Videos, Esteban Franchina, Star Wars Mom is in the house. What is up, Star Wars Mom? Great to see you. Scott Westbrook, Alan Copeland, and KG. So I got everybody that I could. If I missed you, just throw it up. Let us know that you were here, because I apologize for missing you, but I got as many as I could. Let's see here. And if it is your first time on an Echo Base Network show, let us know. Moderator team, highlight that chat. Everybody give them a warm welcome. That is very important to us. Don't be like, Echo Base Network is open for everybody. We do have the usual suspects in the crowd every week because we're a family. That's what families do. We show up every Saturday and we're here together. It's awesome. So don't feel like you're not a part of that. Jump right in and be with us, and it'll be awesome. You are welcome here. Tonight's agenda: minor topics, major topics, and member pop-ins next week. We got to watch Ahsoka first. Then we will have pop-ins. So there will be no member pop-ins, but I'm telling you, we got so much planned for tonight. We probably don't have time for member pop-ins because, very important, we're going to go through our show tonight. And then as soon as the show is over, our teammate and moderator, y'all are so funny. It is not your first time, Clifton. Y'all are so crazy. I got to go back and read the chats because I'm talking and I'm going through I'm going through the intro monologue, guys. I'm going through the monologue. Let me get. I want to engage with you. Don't save the good stuff till I'm paying attention. Okay. Anyways, what was I even saying? Oh, member pop-ins next week. Oh yes. So tonight after, sorry, don't you shake your head at me back there. Tonight, after the show, our teammate and moderator Thrawn will be having a members watch party over on our Discord. All members can come in, and if you have access to the Discord at all, we'll pop you in too if we can. I'm no Discord expert, but me and Risman will be there with Thrawn watching whatever he has lined up for tonight. I can't remember. I think it's Clone Wars season 7. I think yes, it is. So Clone Wars season 7. And season 5? Clone Wars season 5. Glad I can count his fingers. Clone Wars season 5 tonight, and in preparation for the Ahsoka series. So I don't even know what's going to be going on, you know, with Ahsoka in that, but definitely going to be looking forward to it. So something that I wanted to say real quick before we really get cooking here. So this is, man, I'm going to preach a little bit. Give me 30 seconds to preach. Is that okay with everybody? Just 30. I need a 30-second sermon. So I've made a couple videos this week, and I've seen other people make videos, and I've gone in the comments, and I've read, and I've seen everything on social media. And this is a time where like people are bringing like they're coming with like some anger or some emotions are all over the place, and the show hasn't even happened yet. Many people, we're all in different places. We're all in different places. And you are not going to be where I am with Star Wars, nor should you be. You should be where you are. And that's the main point of this message. I want you to know never blindly follow anybody. Anybody. Be your own free thinker. I've read people saying in the comments on videos and things here's one. And I love Doomcock. Everybody doesn't love Doomcock. I don't believe everything that he comes out with. I don't think he does either. He's reporting on things that he's been told. Anyways, besides the point. Somebody posted a comment that said the only review that matters is Doomcock's of Ahsoka. No. Wrong. The only review that matters is yours. I don't follow anyone. I am a free thinker, and I'm going to believe the way I believe. Me and Nick have disagreed an infinite amount of times since we've started this show, and that's what makes our channel unique because the two owners of the channel are free thinkers and see things differently, and you do too. And we want you to know that whether you think like Ahsoka right down the road is paradise, I'm glad for you. And if you think it's a train wreck and you have no hope, I'm sad for you, but I totally understand. I totally understand. So let's be open and nice to people who don't think the way that we do. We're all here because of Star Wars. We're all here because of EBN, and we're all on the same team. So I just want to throw that out there. That is a little sermon coach memo for you guys. EBN equals woke. See, there it is. I get it every kind of way, So, but hey, I just want to keep that in mind. You are going to hear me say things tonight as we go through. Man, I'm excited to actually get to watch Star Wars. Do I think it's going to be great? No. but I certainly hope that it is, and I wish that it is or would be. But the odds are very low. But there are some things about this show that's different. This is new territory. This is uncharted waters. We've never been here before, and we'll explain that here in just a few minutes. So definitely want to engage with all of you. Soapbox is back in the cupboard. Thanks, Rob. But I want to engage with you guys on all of this tonight because we all have so many different, thoughts and feelings. And the people who are like, EBN or shills, man, we've made a movie destroying Disney. So what? Like, we've done more than most people. So, anyways, I digress. I wanted to get all that out. At this time, let me bring in the co-host with the most host. Did that make sense? Probably not. Here we go.
Listen, there's no place I'd rather bring my poop takes than here to EVN on a Saturday night, my brother.
Look, this isn't the chill stream. This is the shill stream.
You know it.
No, it is not the shill stream. And I know that you guys are going to take care of that. Me and Matt are in different places with this show, and Star Wars as a whole and things like that. But we're really looking forward to get into all of that with you guys. Matt, let's go ahead and we gave everybody the welcome. Let's go ahead and go through all of our member chats and our super chats and everything. And we're going to go right into our topics. Buckle up. Here we go, everybody.
Coach, we are almost 300 strong tonight already.
Let's go.
Everyone here, good to see you all. Let's do it.
In the words of my great friend, Valiant Renegade, share, like, subscribe, massage the algorithm, and everything else that he says. I love it. So, all right. Ted's Nerd World with a member chat. He says, another great Saturday night EBN show. Love to you all. We are Echo Base Network. Gosh, I love seeing it. I love it when our people type that. Like, that just happens spontaneously. We are Echo Base Network. Even if you don't think like us, we're here because we love Star Wars in some capacity. I would love for Ahsoka to be great, but I'm prepared to be disappointed yet again by Disney's incompetence. Ted, that is exactly where I'm at. You just nailed it. Bam! That's me. Thank you, Ted, for sending in that member chat. Love our members sending in member chats because it's just like a super chat. Thank you so much for sending that in.
By the way, 31 months. There are a lot. I was just looking at some of the ages of the members. 31 months. That's amazing. That's amazing.
We've been doing it a long time. It's been a bumpy ride, but we are here and things are looking good. So, Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan. Say that 5 times. No way. Has become a YouTube member. So welcome to our member family, my brother. That is incredible. Thank you so much for being here with us. Let's see. We also have Rogue Sarge with a $20 super chat. Hello, everyone at EBN. Looking forward to tonight's show. Bobby, thank you so much for that super chat. Man, you are so generous. I don't even know what to say. So thank you, my man, Rogue Sarge. Go sub to Rogue Sarge. He shoots guns and stuff. Awesome.
It's crazy.
Matt Rissman.
No,
I'm not used to that yet.
I know.
Scott Westbrook. Scott Westbrook has been a member for 2 years, and he has gifted 5 Echo Base Network memberships. So welcome to our newest members, courtesy of my friend Scott Westbrook. Thank you, Scott. That is very generous. Jedi Master Lawrence has also gifted 10 Echo Base Network memberships, 15 new members. Thank you to those who got the memberships from Erica, Jedi Master Lawrence. Send them a thank you if you got one of those memberships. That is incredible. Thank you, guys. Let's see. We also have Debbie Young sends in a $4.99 super chat. Rewatching Rebels has really made me feel so ready for Ahsoka. Good, Mama Bear. Love it. Good. I'm glad for that. Robbie Peppers sends in a member chat. I really think this show is going to bring back the magic. I truly do. Love it, Robbie. I love it. There is a part of me that feels that way. It's just a very small part. I'm just hopeful, man, because I love it. and I want to see Star Wars return to health because it's sick. That's what I've been saying lately. Star Wars is just sick right now, and it has been for a while. I would love to see it return to health. It's not ever going to hit the peaks of back in the day. It's never going to do that. That's something that a lot of us still have not reconciled. It's never going to be like it was 40 years ago, 20 years ago. That is set sail. But it can still be good. We just have to teach Disney a few lessons. Anyways, thank you, Robbie, for that. I don't know how to say your name, and it happens every time. But I appreciate you.
Queckruxt?
My Q-Man. I'm going to call you Q-Man. Sends in a $2 super sticker. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Let's see. Donna Hergenrether has gifted 5 Echo Base Network memberships. Oh my gosh, we have 31 new members.
We have more gifted memberships.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Wait, we can't even get started on the show. Y'all are doing so much, but thank you.
Crazy.
Thank you. So appreciate that very much. My friend Donna Hergenrither, send her a thank you. That is awesome. Debbie Young with $1.99. You squirrel, I owe you. Okay, she sent me a message and she said, "Who's hosting tonight?"
Oh.
And I said, "Risman, but don't tell anybody."
Oh.
And then boom, here I am. So, that just
funny.
Hey, you got to be careful asking me questions because you might get fooled. Okay.
Well, Coach, you were right from a certain point of view.
That's exactly right. Many truths we cling to. All right. Matt Risman lets us know that Debbie has also gifted 5 Echo Best Network memberships. So thank you, Debbie. My gosh, y'all. Yeah, that is incredibly generous. Thank you, and welcome all new members. Keep it rolling, brother. Jedi Master Lawrence with $3. Did I hear you right? You were watching The Chosen. Yes, but I have not watched an episode since I said that last week. So I am on episode 3, but I am really enjoying it, and I'm too dang busy. I'm too busy to just go in there and sit down in the living room and justify watching something for an hour. I have too much going on.
It's on the CW, isn't that correct, Coach? The Chosen, the CW?
I have it on Netflix.
The CW? Oh, you got it on Netflix. Okay. Yeah.
It's on Netflix. It's also on Angel Studios app. I know that, but I don't know about the CW. But thank you, Jedi Master Lawrence, and maybe I'll review that on my other channel one day. That'd be a good idea. I'll do that. Special Ray. That's wrong. I shouldn't have done that.
Oh no!
Bad coach. Bad.
Wait.
Bad coach.
That takes something. Here we go.
Boom, canceled.
We have to.
We'll probably lose our monetization on that. Special Ray with $9.99. Coach, as a warning to add to your sermon, there's a lot of sequel trilogy praise on Twitter. They are monetizing your pain. Do not respond. They want your engagement to get paid off your disappointment. I have noticed that people have been getting paid on Twitter.
Yes.
So very interesting there. Thanks, Special Ray. I will be looking out for that. So they're not going to suck me in. So appreciate that very much, bro. Thank you for your $10 super chat. Olaf Van S with $2. Coach, seen the pre-screen Ahsoka reviews on Mr. H? No, I have. All right. So great question, Olaf. I have stayed away from any type of spoiler reviews at all. The things that I have seen were basically the shill media being very general in their reviews. I am not wanting to get into spoilers tonight. Come on, guys. We're 3 days away from the show. So let's not do that. But a lot of the news that we're talking about is definitely, worthy of discussion. But no, I'm not. I can't stand it when people get all this early access. I hate it.
I didn't watch Mr. H, but I did watch Film Threat earlier today, just because I was curious. I was curious for Chris Gore. These are, by the way, there's a social media embargo. They can't talk about spoilers. They can only talk about, and they can't even give it a rating. They can only talk about sort of how it made them feel and what they got from it and all of that. So I didn't watch Mr. H, but I watched Chris Gore and a couple other folks. I think I sent you heavy spoilers. Had a reaction.
You sent me Chris Gore's, and I love Chris Gore to death, but I didn't watch it. I will watch it. I will watch Chris Gore's review after I see the show on, because I love his thoughts He's brilliant on reviewing things. There's no doubt about it. So, and I agree with much of what he says. So, but I gotta wait. I gotta wait.
Yeah, totally with you.
Um,
Totally with
and
you.
that goes back to the free thinker. Free thinker. I don't want to be influenced by. I want to be. I'm coach. Okay. All right. Anyways,
Here
keep
we
it
go.
rolling.
Keep going.
Graph,
Keep it
Graph
rolling.
Web, hashtag cancel Disney plus $2. You the man, Graph Web. Keep it up, brother. Coach O Dragon, my brother. Member chat. My only concern with Ahsoka is if this will lead to more divide. I hope the chat respects others' opinions if they feel it's ruining EU like Kenobi. So, two things there. One, yes, chat, let's respect people's opinions who are different than ours. You don't have to agree with anybody here, but you don't have to hope they burn in hell either. You know what I mean? Like that's what we want to stay away from. And the other thing there is, Coach O'Dragon, I don't think there's any way that there could be more divide. It's so divided already that it's not going to get worse. Like we are there's a new show coming out. And you know what this reminds me of, Matt? We're right back during the sequel trilogy era. Things got
Yeah.
so hostile with The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And that's where we are again right now. And a lot of people, those emotions are coming back. Those Last Jedi, I hate Disney Star Wars emotions. And I totally get it. And I have conflict with that as well. So
Well, and they also kind of got us with Kenobi, right? Remember,
no
I was
doubt.
so jazzed up with Kenobi and this, that, and the other, and then it happened, and we're kind of like, well, the press and everything they did ahead of time was better than the show for
So
many of us. So
I know the problem with Kenobi now. I know the problem, and it's two words: Deborah Chow. That was the problem.
I think that was a problem, right? It was poorly written. It was it felt very unfinished, and then it was in some ways sadly comical. So let's not ditch out on Kenobi, but for me, the last time I felt like this was for Kenobi, and now I'm like, gosh, don't Kenobi me again, please. I just don't want to be
Yeah, I don't want to go
Kenobi
through that.
again. So.
And look, a big part of me is afraid that that's what's going to happen. Much more about that later. We're going to really get into that later. But thank you, Coach O'Dragon. Matt Risman also lets us know that's 3 times now.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't do
Felix
it.
Kiros, our great mod and one of the most positive forces on the channel, has gifted 5 Echo Base Network memberships. And oh, yeah, if you want to know how to actually fight with a lightsaber, he can teach you.
He's the
So,
one.
Felix, thank you so much. Everybody, thank Felix if you got one of his 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Felix. And Olaf Van S with $6, yet sound like they are desperate. Focusing now on all George Lucas nostalgia, and if Ahsoka is the best thing since the original trilogy, they didn't do this before. Okay, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, we have that for later.
Yeah, we're going to get there, Olaf. You're absolutely right. I noticed in that, I guess it was a featurette. It was a featurette where they dropped George Lucas's name.
Yeah,
and they showed old footage, and it's like, hold up. This is feeling like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is going on here? Well, we know they're pulling, they've done it before. One time I can remember, I think it might have been the Book of Boba Fett. No, I don't remember. Oh, it was The Rise of Skywalker. They came out with a trailer and it was all nostalgia bait, showing Luke in Empire, showing Obi-Wan in Phantom Menace, and it was just nostalgia bait. Is that what they did? Probably so with Lucas. I mean,
because
probably so.
In that same featurette, it had the Masters and Apprentice part of it, and so we'll tonight we have the Legacy one where it's like, goodness sakes, can you get any more nostalgic than the way they've done this? I don't think.
But you know what, dude? It worked.
Yeah.
I recognize the bias and the spin there, but it worked. I'm sitting there going, dang, man, I hope this show's good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Olaf. Ted's Nerd World, $1 super sticker. Let me see what he sent.
What was it?
Man, there's so many. Oh, It was a poop emoji. Thanks, Ted.
Oh, me and my poop takes. He brought the poop emoji for my poop takes, maybe. That kind of goes together.
Mexican Iron Man with a member chat. I was going to watch this show tonight, but I see Rissman unsubbing now. Just kidding. Hey, Mexican Iron Man, how do you say Rissman in Spanish?
We had such a great time on Thursday night. And again, thanks for everybody who was here. I know a lot of them are back again. Such a great time. Always good to have Mike back on the show.
Yeah. And I want everybody to know we got 300 people here. We're going through the super chats and everything right now, but we're going to be engaged with just the chat too. Just like Felix here. This show needs to be good. They're playing with fire. I totally agree. It meant I can't imagine what it's going to be like if this show is another Kenobi or another Book of Boba Fett or even a Mando season 3. This show needs to be good. Period.
I think it would. It's going to be better than Mando season 3, I'm sure. But on your point, is it going to be great? That remains to be seen.
Hey, well, look, I got one thing I can tell you. Yeah. Yeah. Book of Boba didn't have that. All right. Keep it rolling.
Though. I mean, okay. Keep going.
Okay. Captain Fandom Nerd has been with us for 11 months. I want to see Star Wars be positive, not negative. Totally agree, bro. I am with you. And we will keep fighting that fight. That's the thing about our channel is that we experience Star Wars together through the ups and downs. It just so happens that over the last 5 years, there's been many more downs. But we are here doing this together. All right. Keep it rolling. Debbie Young with $5. You all know how I love spoilers. I'm so good on this. I don't even feel the need for spoilers yet. Okay, whatever. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. KK's dried up Sarlacc pit.
Love it.
$1.
I love it.
$1.
Not film off crumbs anymore. No, it's
sent in a poop emoji. Thank you.
Another my poop takes. Oh wait, we had one more sneak in. One more just snuck in.
Clifton 3D with $2.50. I don't think Felony will let his girl crush down. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. And that's definitely a topic as well tonight as we get into everything that we're talking about. Yeah,
we did it.
Now we're ready to start the show, everybody. So without wasting any time there, just real fast, got to do it. Got to honor you guys for all of your participation and support. Thank you so much. All of you people who super chatted and member chatted, you are Echo Base Network, and this is for you. And to our member family, our 31 new members, and the very generous people who gifted those memberships, thank you. We love you. You are Echo Base Network. Coach and Nick from Echo Base Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. All right, let's jump right into this, everybody. So a couple of minor topics real quick that we're literally going to just fly through. Star Wars, the character Ahsoka is coming to Galaxy's Edge at both Disney parks August 23rd.
Oh, so I didn't realize they announced Orlando. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. So August 23rd, Ahsoka will be there. Is that a big deal? Probably not, but I remember when Mando and Grogu first started walking around, it took them forever to get those characters there. So it's kind of neat that they're already getting Ahsoka there. There is one of the people who plays Ahsoka, one of the cast members. Yep. So very cool there. So that's one update that we want to give you guys. Moving right into another thing, Hasbro has now live action Ahsoka figures. You see Ahsoka here. You see Sabine Wren right there. That is certainly not Renfield.
Oh, that's the Dracula on the boat.
There's Hera Syndulla that you can see there. So they do have Ahsoka figures coming out, Star Wars Hasbro Black Series, and more. So pretty neat there as we go through that. And one of the cool things is that Dave Filoni and John Favreau actually got to look at the toys for the first time themselves, and they totally nerded out. I don't think that video has been released yet,
It's
but there
there.
is.
You can
Okay, you
click
can
it.
actually watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's either up above
well,
or just down below. You can actually click the video and see them nerding out. It's kind of funny,
well,
actually.
for time permits, we're gonna keep rolling. I want to get into this main stuff.
Yeah,
We're 30 minutes in.
I know.
But yeah, it's kind of neat that look, and Favreau said, let's see here. What did he say this? Um hmm, oh, Favreau asks Dave Filoni, is it becoming real yet? And Filoni's looking at the toys for his show, Ahsoka,
Yeah.
and he says it's becoming very real. So pretty neat there. Gotta say that. Will I get one of those toys? Probably not. But if the show takes off and I really am digging it, then yeah, I will.
I'm getting the
It's
Lego Ghost. The Lego Ghost is one of the toys they were nerding out about. It's on my purchase list for sure.
very cool. Very cool. All right. And up next, there is a new HasLab. Let's see.
This is the Ghost. It's been funded. I think they're still working on the first unlock though. They have some
Yeah, this
unlocks
is
planned.
yeah, and this is a HasLab Ghost,
Mhm.
correct?
Yes.
So it has not been unlocked yet. They're still crowdfunding
So
this.
it's crowdfunded, the base, and now I think they might still be working on the first unlock, which might include, oh, it includes a figure. I forget which one. It's probably Hera, right? I think the first unlock includes Hera, but no, it has been crowdfunded, so this one will come to
There she
fruition.
is. All
It's
right.
a monster. It's a monster. This is
Well,
just a
very
little bit behind the scenes on how they made it. There we go. Tier 1 unlock. Oh, tier 1 is Ezra.
Blonde
Last
Kanan
I looked,
Jarrus.
last I looked at, they were still working on that first unlock. So, and I know some folks in our chat, they backed this, right? It was so exciting. They backed
Yeah.
this to make it come to fruition.
Yep. Very cool there. Very cool indeed. And let's see, real quick for you gamers, if you are a Amazon Prime member, you could download The Force Unleashed 2 for free through September the 20th. So just know that. Now, first main topic of the night. It's not even really worthy of being a main topic because it's absolute spin to the max. Pedro Pascal ditching Star Wars, moving to HBO.
Yeah.
That is a lie. That is their speculation, but they write it with such authority in the
Oh,
title.
it's inside the magic. Yeah.
Yes, it's inside the magic. So don't freak out, everybody, if you're worried about Pedro leaving. And they build the whole thing around, well, Dave Filoni said that The Mandalorian is now about Bo-Katan. It's not about Mando anymore. And Rick Famuyiwa backed that up, and that's actually what happened. And they're actually thinking about making season 4 into a movie instead of a season. And Pedro might not be there, and he already hasn't been there very much. In season 3, they're just using his voice so he could go do other things. So, and basically, what they're saying is they speculate that Pedro wants out. He wants to leave Star Wars at this point. We don't know if any of that stuff is true. This is a garbage site and a garbage take. They need more evidence to throw this crap out there. That is an editorial. That is all that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I agree.
You have nothing to say other than I agree.
We're
not used to this.
Inside the Magic has a very big track record for sensationalized reporting in the theme park as a theme park blogger. So when I saw ITM there on the side, I wasn't very surprised.
Yeah. Now, they've come out with some things that seemed right.
Yeah.
Now, and here's a cool thing, like ruin pants.
Yeah.
Let him go. The less woke, the better. So, and a lot of people probably feel that way. It doesn't matter if Pedro is there or not. So because all we need is a voice actor. All we need is someone to sound like Mando. It certainly doesn't have to be him in the armor. It's probably better with the other two guys.
So for me, a more interesting question is, do you think there'll be a Mando cameo in Ahsoka? Do you think there's a chance to see Mando cameoing in Ahsoka? Whether it's
Okay.
Pedro or not, I'm just talking about the character of Mando.
So it's funny how everything we're talking about is going to come back to Ahsoka because that's what's on the brain. So my answer is I don't know,
No.
but we know that Ahsoka is basically an extension of Rebels. We know we have the Rebels crew for the most part.
Mhm.
The more other people that they could bring in, I think the better. However, you run the risk of losing the show actually being about Ahsoka when you do that. You titled it Ahsoka. I hope you titled this one correctly, Lucasfilm, because you've titled other shows names and it turned out to not be their show at times. You did it with Boba Fett. You did it with Mando. Don't do it with Ahsoka. But that being said, Matt, with all these other people, with Rebels, with the Rebels crew coming in, with all the ladies coming in,
Mhm.
they need to have Mando show up. They need to have Boba Fett show up. They need a Luke Skywalker. And you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this bomb on the chat right now. Are y'all ready? Bomb drop
Oh,
time.
oh,
Here you
here it
go.
goes.
How you gonna feel? Let's just talk hypotheticals. How you gonna feel if when we have watched the final episode of Ahsoka, episode 8, right?
Yep.
We've gone through the entire series in 2 months from now, and we had the moment. We had a 10 out of 10 internet breaking moment, and they got it right. Han, Luke, and Leia are right there together in this show. If this show does that, it's going to be hard to hate on that.
Mm. You think there's a good chance of that happening?
No.
No.
No. But what if?
I'm with you.
Dave Filoni, if you really want to bring fans together, son, there it is. We just told you. So, you know, quit making Star Wars your Star Wars and honor freaking George's. Do that too. So,
I hear you.
anyway,
I hear you.
all right. About to start preaching again.
I know. You're back up. The pulpit's
right.
never far away, coach. It's never far away.
Yeah. So, all right. We got a couple of chats to get through.
And
then
one of them is on your next. One of them is on your next topic. The first one, the Mama Bear had, is on exactly what the
Yep.
next topic
Well, let's
is.
let's hit Vengers first, then, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So Venger says, my bank account hates me. I've reserved a Black Series Force FX Ahsoka lightsaber, White
Ooh.
Blade, released next year in July. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
So
Just announced this.
good for you, Venger. That is awesome. I expect to see pictures when it comes in. Don't forget.
Looks like a beauty. Looks like a
Go.
beauty.
We need everybody here to go join our EBN Facebook group and get active over there. Because when I go over there, all I see is people posting like RK Outpost videos or Doomcock videos. Can we get some Star Wars pictures and some conversation in there? That would be great. All right. Debbie Young, 999. Is someone listening to fans at Lucasfilm Limited Disney moving the show to 9 p.m. time on Tuesday? Fans have wanted this. Oh, well, how about
Perfect.
that?
Perfect.
That's the first thing that we're talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great pleasure to tell you Star Wars has now moved into the prime time for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Like, wow. It has taken you this long, but we're finally there. I don't have to get up at 2 a.m. to watch the drop.
Amen.
I could watch it at 5. How about that?
Or you could actually watch it at 8:00 p.m. if you wanted to, right?
Jim says soothing, son. That's quite soothing.
Very refreshing.
Very refreshing. Yeah, like finally, God, when they do those 2 a.m. releases, man, we're all over the place and people aren't able to watch it until that night. They got to get home from work and eat dinner and sit down and, go to the bathroom, pick up the kids, feed the dogs, whatever. Now we finally get to watch it at night when it drops. And we can all be in the digital space talking about it. Finally. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, to the extent that prime time still exists, I mean, again, they seem to be taking out all the stops for this because, again, it's 6 o'clock Pacific time. So, 9 o'clock Eastern. I was really, really surprised on this. And I've seen some people asking in the chat. It's not only for the premiere. First two episodes still will premiere now on the
It's
22nd.
everything moving forward.
Correct. Every other episode is going to come out through now. What is it, October the 2nd or 3rd? Whatever that Tuesday is, that first Tuesday is in October is when the finale will air. So really amazing. Amazing. So yeah, and like we talked about earlier, Thrawn's got some stuff going on in the Discord from a watch party perspective, and that will lead right up to the first two episodes of Ahsoka premiering on next Tuesday, and then we have a plan, obviously, just to keep on watching. We'll put those up in the Discord and have those available for watching on
So yeah,
Tuesday.
a lot of you guys are chiming in right now, like this is a good move, and we're all going to be on the same page. So chime in right now, everybody. How are you feeling about Star Wars coming to prime time? We can all watch it late afternoon, early evening together. Finally, reviews will be dropping that night. Channel reactions and all that, live streams, watch parties, all of it's going down. So I will tell you that I'm going to get with the team, Nick first, of course, and find out what he wants to do and how he wants to handle this as a channel. What do we want to do? Because we do everything. We do the live watch party, we do the Patreon thing, we do the breakdowns, we do the cut it up and discussion review. We always do everything, hit it from every angle. So we kind of have to give us a little bit of time to wrap our brains around that, and we'll announce in the next 48 hours how we're going to proceed. But I do need to
And
talk to Nick about that.
And much deference to our European friends. We have some of them here in the chat, so it's kind of reversed. I was talking to Star Wars Fits about this earlier. All of a sudden it's become great for us, and then remember that's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. now, European time. So sorry, sorry about that for our overseas friends. It does now stink for you all from a
Yeah,
time perspective.
it does. You're right. It does. So okay, so that's going to move us to our next topic. Ahsoka's first reactions. And this is coming to us from Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see. Star Wars Ahsoka first reactions brings Rebels to life, epic and incredible, critics say. Now, I did a video on this the other day. We have to take everything that people say, especially right now, with a grain of salt, because when you're getting into early reviews, shill has turned into a word of attack, but shill literally means the people who get early access that always spin it positive so they can maintain their access. That is a shill. Okay.
And I will also say, Coach, I was a little surprised. Reference they seem to have even, like a couple of people that I mentioned to you, whether it's Mr. H or it's Heavy Spoilers or some of these other folks who actually got these screeners this time. I
Yes.
wouldn't necessarily normally cast them into the shill category.
Oh,
So
I
I don't
agree.
know. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
All I'm saying is I don't know if Lucasfilm was even more generous. Maybe it's again another sign of their desperation to make sure that this gets the best marketing it can because they weren't able to go out with the press junkets and all the other stuff because of the strike. But
Yeah.
more people that I wouldn't have expected to get these screeners seem to have gotten them. I thought that was interesting.
So, couple things here, couple of the little headlines or quick snippet reviews. Ahsoka is 100% a sequel to Rebels. The second episode premiere felt like it was right out of the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, but in live action. Another person said, previewed the first two episodes, thought it was an exciting new chapter to the Star Wars story Filoni has created. It feels more like a sequel to Rebels than a true Ahsoka series. So that's one of the things. That's actually one of my concerns, Risman, is that I want it to be Ahsoka before Rebels. This reviewer just said it feels more like Rebels than Ahsoka.
And
That
they're not the only one who's been saying that either.
so
Right.
and what that is going to do is going to allow Disney to remain consistent with their poorly titled shows. Doesn't mean that the show's bad. Doesn't mean that the show's bad. But if you call something Ahsoka, make it about Ahsoka. But anyways, let's see here. A promising start for Ahsoka with many cool elements that expand the Star Wars universe and feel different from Mando. Dave Filoni lovingly brings his rebels to life in a story that embraces mythology, magic, and lore in a way that could turn off, say, Andor fans. Slower paced than expected, but still enthralling for this Rebels fan. So, the the reviews are generous. They're not perfect. Some people have some issues with other parts of it, like like they say that visually it goes from a cinematic experience, which is what you want,
Yeah.
to something that feels smaller, more claustrophobic from the volume. And that is something that people are not liking, right?
Yeah. Totally. And I think, this is again, like it or don't like the story they told in Andor. The problem is now that's become the production bar has been set very high there because that's uber cinematic. And so now I think everything else that comes along, and it seems like this show as one of them is not going to be at that level. And on your point, I think the reviews I've seen have said that it looks like good TV, right? It's not that it's poorly produced content, but it's clearly small screen content. And that's just one of those things where I don't know what to do about that, right? And to me, it just needs to look better than Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett did, because those had some really glaring weak spots
Mhm.
that I'd like to see them overcome.
Yep. I'm with you. I see some people I didn't get a chance to speak to in chat. Commandant, good to see you. Joe, good to see you, my friend. Dan, I don't think I said hello to you either at the beginning of the show. I can't remember, Dan, but good to see you again, Dan. Lance Corporal Waffles and Spiked Madness. Adam Van Gessen, thank you, sir. Good to see you. So thank you guys for being here. All right, so a little bit more about these early reviews. Ahsoka TV reviews, critics share first reactions. You got some more reactions here. There's one of the little photos from the show that they're using to promote it. First two episodes of Ahsoka are really good, even if you've never seen Rebels or Clone Wars. It's super easy to follow. Now, I appreciate them saying that, but I think that some people, and I totally get it, some people are saying that, hey, the characters aren't really where they left off. So I have a problem with it because it's like, whoa, that character doesn't supposed to be in this position. I don't know anything about it. Like, what's the backstory? How did they get there? And then you have to try to reconcile that. That's a problem for fans of Rebels, correct?
It is, and I think from what I understand in other reviews, by the time we get to the end of the second episode, the characters appear to be more where we thought they would be based upon the Rebels epilogue. So the first episode, I think, is setting the table for part of the very particular story they're telling here and trying to get the characters arranged in a specific place. And I understand they use a solo-esque exposition paragraph. Some words come out. I wouldn't call it a crawl, but it's similar to what they did in Solo, to try and help people understand what
So
this is
so
all about.
hang on, timeout. Coach 30-second timeout. Here we go. I heard there was a crawl.
I think it's if you consider what happened at the beginning of the Solo movie a crawl, yes. That's what it is.
I've only seen that movie twice. I don't even remember. But let
It's
me just
just
say
it's
this.
just
As a fan of Star Wars, you just moved Ahsoka, the show that we've been sitting here waiting on. Finally, we're getting more Star Wars to talk about. You just moved it into the prime time and you started with a crawl. I would say that's the right way to do it, personally.
I'm with you. I think again I use Kenobi as a great example because they did that montage, right, of all the pictures and trying to get us back to where, and I don't think it worked, right? And so there is a bit of business here they have to do about why we care about what they're trying to do, which apparently is what they are attempting to do there at the beginning. obviously, when it comes out, we can all use our own judgment to say, did they accomplish that? But there is a tactic there that they're using, which is a little bit different again in this series.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Totally. All right. So look, I think we're good on the. Is there anything else from the early reviews that we've gotten so far that you
I
wanted
don't.
to point out?
I think the tonality is something you covered in your review also, and I think the tonality, by that it means actually the scoring, the music. I think
Mhm.
is a little bit unexpected in a couple of places, or sort of up and down, which again I think is what they're going for. And then on your point, the visuals have a noticeable transition, if you will, up and down, and it's not always consistent. But again, I think that comes with small screen content. So no, I can't think of anything else.
Okay. Well, we have a 30-second TV spot that we want to show you guys. Let's see, it came out a couple days ago,
Mhm.
but definitely worthy of looking out here. And then we're going to shift gears a tad. We're still talking Ahsoka, but we're going to take the attention off of Ahsoka herself and talk about another character. But before we get there, one other thing that nobody's really talking about, or I haven't heard anybody. I am really excited. I guess this is just my whole like tugging at my heartstrings a little bit, getting to see, Ray Stevenson's character
Yeah.
in this show because the man passed away. And I hope that he nailed it and did a great job. Like I really do.
The early reviews sure seem to point to him as a bright spot in the storytelling so far, and in the gravitas that he brought to the character. So let him rest, and I really do, on your point, I hope this is a great send off for him, because he was so into it when we saw him in those early interviews and some of the rest of it. He
Yeah.
just seemed so genuinely full of joy for having been a part
Right.
of this particular project. So yeah, I hope it shines through
I
in
agree.
his.
And I like what Brian T says right here. Ahsoka needs to be a home run. The early reviews don't seem to be putting it in that category. Well, here's the thing about that. Brian, I totally agree with you. So many times the early reviews, those are the critics that get the early access. So many times they will say something is mid or good, and to the rest of us, it's a freaking grand slam walk-off home run. You know, those people don't represent us. And so many times those people say this is a cinematic masterpiece, and we're like, dude, that's like a 2 out of 10. What are you talking about?
I know.
It's horrible. These are the people that we really have to be like, their opinion truly doesn't mean much. It really doesn't at all. But we're going to find out on Tuesday. And that takes me back to the whole thing that I said at the beginning of the show. Never blindly follow anybody, ever. You know, Rissman can tell me all day long how great Andor is. To me, it was, a little bit better than mid. That's, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. So, love you, Rissman. All right, let's go.
You're not the only one who thinks that. So that's
All right. So here is the TV spot. If it will actually pull up. There we go. Here we go. Can you hear it?
I cannot.
Okay. All right. That's my fault. Bad
I'm glad.
preparation from the coach.
I'm glad to see it's pulling. You must have rebooted since the last time, right? Because the last time you couldn't even get anything to share, right?
I know, right? Oh.
Oh, did I
Hey,
speak too soon?
Hello, Ahsoka. Nice to see you.
Did I jinx you?
You're looking very exquisite tonight with your 2 lightsabers.
If I
I would-
jinxed you, I can
I
certainly
would
bring
totally.
it up.
Ah, there we go. All right, here we go.
War is coming.
When the stakes are this high, it takes
I love her falling that great distance.
Yeah,
That's something that
like
we
a-
don't see in live action very much at all.
just
You
like a
know-
Jedi or Jedi adjacent should do.
Yeah, that's Star Wars, baby. That's
a
Star Wars.
master and an apprentice to defeat our enemy.
What makes someone ready?
You just know.
Ahsoka 2-episode premiere streaming August 23rd.
Yeah,
Dude,
so that
when I
one was called
watched that,
Get Ready. It was called Get Ready.
yeah,
called
when
Get
I
Ready.
watched that, I'm like, that looks good.
There's apparently
looks
there's
good.
a lot of the reviewers have confirmed there's a lot of lightsabering that happens in these first couple of episodes. There's a
Well,
lot
they
of
owe
lightsaber.
us a lot of lightsabering
Agree.
because that
Agree.
dark saber ain't lightsabering.
No. And it's
Sorry.
destroyed now by a Gideon crush. So even that had no payoff, Coach.
It'll be
Good,
back.
and then it's gone.
The dark saber will be back. So I have no doubt.
Oh,
But look, and I know we're kind of all over the place. I'm getting off topic here, but just that thought right there with the dark saber, isn't it telling to you guys? And I'm not just talking to you. I am talking to. Okay, Joe, I got you. I'm not just talking to Risman. I'm talking to the chat. Isn't it telling to you guys that it's not Jon Favreau doing the Ahsoka series? Now there's a backup to this point.
very distracting.
Who's getting very distracting, son? That's very distracting. There's a new movie coming out, apparently, that they're working on, and it's the Mando. It's in the Mandoverse setting. They didn't ask Favreau to do it. They asked Filoni to do it. It almost seems to me like Jon Favreau is kind of tiptoeing backwards, and he might be hitting the exit.
He is the executive producer on both things, right? Whether it's this or whether it's that. But yeah, I'm with you on this for sure. You know me, I never miss an opportunity to say how happy I am that Jon Favreau is not writing this, right? Because I feel like he really let us down in Mando season 3.
Okay, everybody, downgrade time. Downgrade time. 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go.
Yes, everyone's like very distracted.
No.
Oh.
Okay. So, anyways, that's just something that I don't know.
Look at Blackbird. Did you do something with your hair?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I am totally. Make sure Mrs. Coach can't hear this. I am totally thinking about going to Bosley in December.
Oh, really? Does it work? Because there's a lot of help needed.
No, I don't think there's any help. You just need to super glue something on your head. I'm talking about.
This is beyond help. This is beyond help. I can tell you.
So, anyways, I'm not bald, but boy, I could see my head right through my. Anyways, I'm getting way off topic. All right, quit chasing them squirrels. All right, so a couple questions for everybody while we're talking Ahsoka, and I said that we're going to shift gears and we're going to kind of not talk about Ahsoka herself for a minute. This is what I'm wondering. And I think this is a problem, or like you like to say, Matt, this is the barrier to entry for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's Sabine.
Yeah.
Sabine is problematic for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
She was a side character from Mandalore, loved her little art stuff, loved dropping bombs, loved mistreating Ezra, was trained with the Darksaber, was trained how to fight with the Darksaber by Ezra. Now, all of a sudden, this show is coming out, and we see in a trailer, she is calling Ahsoka Master.
Yes.
That leads us to think she is the apprentice of Ahsoka Tano. When did that happen? And if she's the apprentice of Ahsoka Tano, does that mean that she is Force sensitive? It doesn't, but she would be the first non-Force user I know being trained as a Jedi. Somebody correct me on there if you can.
So there's a Screen Rant article that I posted also that's on this topic there, and I read this. There was a series of short stories. Long answer to short question. She is not the first example of someone who is non-Force sensitive that was trained in the ways of the Jedi. Is it normal? Is it a usual occurrence? No. But she is not the first one that's happened for. It's on your point. I think it's very off-putting for the Rebels fans amongst us, because when Kanan was training her, when she was training with Ezra, and all of the rest of it, even though a couple of times Kanan said things like she's closed down to the Force, she needs to kind of get with her feelings a bit to help with the Darksaber specifically. It was, to me, never really even intimated that she might be Force sensitive. And so we entered this series with the understanding that not only was she apprenticed to Ahsoka, but she was apprenticed to Ahsoka and it didn't work out. And now she's being reapprenticed
Correct.
to
Yes.
Ahsoka in the context of this series.
So Ahsoka says somewhere in the whole trailer that she says something along the lines of, "We've got to go get help, but I don't know if they will help us."
And it's actually Hu Yang. It's Hu Yang
Okay.
who ultimately, when they give us the rest of that sequence, it's a conversation between Ahsoka, Hera, and Hu Yang is there. And Hu Yang said, let's get Sabine. And then Hera's like, well, I kind of screwed that up. Ahsoka says, I kind of screwed that up with Sabine. Do you think, I don't even know if she would be interested in helping. Then one thing leads to another, and we see a sequence where they're training together again. And so obviously we understand that the recruitment occurred. Now I will say, I think there are other things that we'll see in the first couple of episodes that happen. As usual, a lot of things we've seen in these trailers is out of order. So I think we'll see some things happen in these first couple episodes that further reinforce why Sabine decided it might be a good idea to train again.
Right.
Is she Force sensitive, though, I think is the question you're asking. And I'm personally still in the no, she's not boat. That's where I am at this moment.
Somebody mentioned earlier, just a couple minutes ago, about how General Grievous was not a Force user,
Mhm.
but he had been trained.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about that. You're absolutely right. The only thing I would say there is General Grievous should not have made it 15 seconds in a fight against Obi-Wan. I don't care how many arms he's got. Obi-Wan has the Force. Like, why did you just not Force pull him to the ground and cut his freaking head off? And so there I am using my literal brain instead of just the entertainment. Obviously they can't do that in every fight, because what's the point in having the fight in the first place if you can't be entertained by it? So I get all that.
And yet there's multiple occasions, and it was just recollected to me as we were doing a watch party with Thrawn the other day, and he for the first time experienced an Obi-Wan and Grievous interaction via lightsaber in one of the episodes that we're watching. And it's not like it only happened one time, right? They interacted with each other. Anakin never, right? Anakin never interacted with Grievous until later on, and that's why, oh, you're shorter than I expect. That's why that dialogue worked later in the prequels. But Kenobi and Grievous had a long time back and forth, with lightsaber without, and an antagonistic relationship. And on your point, Kenobi never was apparently able to best Grievous with the utilization of the Force, specifically as an aid.
Right.
So
I am really having a hard time with the story in this regard, because if Ahsoka and this whole crew needs a Jedi to help them out, a Force user, why didn't you just alter your story and make Ezra be that person and not Sabine Wren? And if this was Ezra coming in training under Ahsoka, and Sabine was the Sabine that we knew in Rebels, I would feel better about the show. And I'm just being totally transparent with everybody. The fact that we haven't had a show with Jedi, the fact that Rey was the last Jedi that we got in the movies. And now you're giving us a show with Jedi back. Everybody's saying that, hey, Ahsoka's not a Jedi. Well, the trailer
Jedi
says,
adjacent. We call it Jedi adjacent now, Coach.
yeah. Look, the Jedi Order doesn't have to be around for her to be a Jedi. And
I mean, the Jedi Order wasn't around and Luke was a Jedi. So we don't have to go back into all that, right?
When Ahsoka left the way, she also buried them sticks. Now she's walking around with them and using them a lot. So I don't think that we could say that she's no Jedi. Even though, no pun intended, she did say that like way back, but that's not the point.
So on this point though, who do you think the new Jedi is? Because there's been dialogue now in one of these spots that says the new Jedi rises. Is it so? Who is
maybe it is Ahsoka,
or is it Sabine? Is it Jason? Is it Ezra?
Gosh, so that was my point. It's like, I love the women. I love the women for the women. I'm all about it. But dude, like seriously. So we haven't. You just gave us Rey. We were force fed Rey for years, and now you made Kenobi what you made Kenobi, and now you give us a show, and you could have brought Ezra there. You could have had a Luke Skywalker show up or something. And not that he won't, but But now you're making Sabine a force user, so it's Ahsoka and Sabine, and it's like, I have a hard time with this part.
And unfortunately, like it or hate it, I don't think we're going to get an answer to whether she is or isn't force sensitive in the first 2 episodes. I'm not saying we're not going to see her fight with the lightsaber. Clearly we are. But I don't think this question is going to be answered at the outset.
Yeah. I'm with you. So here you can see footage of Kanan Jarrus. I'm sorry. Of Ezra Bridger.
The owls. Yeah, these are the owls.
Yep. She is training. Watch closely. She is training Ezra with the little sticks. I'm sorry. Did I say she's training? I'm sorry.
Ezra. Kanan is training both, but Ezra is really instructing.
I'm totally about to get slayed by the chat. Ezra is training Ahsoka in this moment. So Kanan is talking to him and all that stuff, and then here
54 seconds ish, I think, is when the owls show.
Oh, I way past that.
You probably just jet because that's Fen Rao is there now.
All right, here you go. Pay close attention, and I want you to tell everybody what they just saw.
So some folks have said, and it's been going around, right? Those 3 owls that are there. You see the third one just showed up.
Right here.
There's some thought process. Those owls tend to hang around because they're the planet they're at. I forget the name of it, right? I think they're in the planet where the Bendu is at this particular time. But those owls that are hanging around tend to hang around with the Force folks, right? And so some people have said, well, there's 3 people, there's 3 owls. So some people have then said, well, okay, the third owl that just showed up, or one of them is there for Sabine. So make of that what you will. Filoni has commented on these owls in a very specific Filoni way through time and just basically said they're relevant. And we know the Mortis arc was just watched, right? We know the one owl very specifically that follows Ahsoka around has a special purpose, right? But these 3 owls here, some people are saying, okay, well, Sabine's just not open up. Adelon, thank you, Leslie. That Sabine has just not yet opened herself up to the Force, and Kanan has said things like that in the past also while
I'm listening to. I just
training.
Yeah. Yep. Totally got you.
And my favorite Kanan joke, a lot of people have said, well, why would Kanan not realize that if she was Force sensitive? And my favorite Kanan joke is, well, maybe he was just blind to it.
Right.
That's my favorite Kanan, because by this point he's obviously lost his sight. Right. So again, I don't know if the owls are anything, but this comes from the Dark Saber. This comes from Trials of the Dark Saber, I think, is the episode that this one is clipped from.
if the owls are indicative of Force users, there's 3 owls and there's 3 people down there. We know 2 of them are Force users, and we're speculating the third one is. So we just didn't know it back then, and I don't think anybody caught that at that point.
I think you're doing well.
And she was quite
Right.
frustrated often, right, as a student. She's even
Mhm.
here, if you would say she was apprenticing at this time, she was a frustrating student even for Kanan and Ezra and all the rest of it. She wasn't a particularly good Aries. She wasn't a great student at the outset. So I think there isn't a reason why that would change. And I think we're going to see an interesting dynamic between her and Ahsoka as a result of that when we see them interact in this series.
So here's my question: is and this is for the chat. How many of you feel like me that Ahsoka being called Master by Sabine is problematic for you? To me, it's just weird, you know. And that's the one thing about having watched Rebels that it would be better if I had not seen Rebels in that aspect, because it would be a lot more acceptable had that not happened. So I want to know what you guys think.
And the interesting thing, based upon the production brief, it is front and center. The central theme of this show is masters and apprentices. So
Yes.
so as a result of that, then they're
As far as we know, that's what the featurette leaned into.
No, the production brief says the show's central theme is masters and apprentices.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
And they interviewed, within that same brief, they interviewed Natasha Lee Bordizzo, and she referred to herself as Ahsoka's Padawan. So again, I don't think that necessarily intimates or confirms Force sensitivity, but it's purposeful. This whole it's not a throwaway line.
But we see Sabine fighting with a saber.
Yes.
Against somebody that we assume is a Force user.
Yes.
So, but hey, Spike and Madness is absolutely correct. Master means teacher or coach. It means coach. Yeah, I'm with you.
She's your saber coach. She's your saber
maybe
coach.
Master just means, I am your pupil. You were teaching me things, not literally, I am your apprentice. I'm a Force user. So you might be right there. And look, we're going to have the answers to these questions in the very near future. Is Matt Rissman coach's Padawan? No, I am his. There's no doubt.
And I think the interesting thing that this series will present us with is Sabine's realization that she needs to be a better student. Like a lot of us who have apprenticed with or who have looked up to someone who has been in that coach's position. A lot of times, at least I can speak for myself personally, we don't always feel like we've done the greatest job, like listening and learning and doing and exemplifying their teachings. And I think that's going to be something we see front and center in this series.
Okay. Great question here from Rex or Point. If Ahsoka is no Jedi, she cannot be a master. And I agree. They wouldn't be calling her master if that were the case.
Well, this goes back to your Anakin Skywalker gaffe.
Oh,
right?
Gosh, here we go.
But again, so
you opened up a can of worms.
Master as an honorific, right? Not master as in
level.
I am ranked officially.
I am a Jedi master.
Master.
Yeah.
Master as though I have more competency, I have more skills in this area that I am trying to impart and share. Certainly Ahsoka can be a master then, right? She left the Jedi Order, so could she ever be an official Jedi master, by rank? I would think not. Maybe Luke would have a different, maybe in Luke's Jedi Order she's a master. I don't know.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Maybe we'll see a ceremony in I have no idea.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was cruising social media yesterday and I saw somebody's post. I should have screenshotted it, but I didn't. and they basically said maybe the destruction of the Jedi Order in episode 7 or before episode 7 was all Ahsoka's fault. And I just died laughing, man. I was like, hey, maybe in some kind of weird way, Ahsoka can make what happened to Luke a little better. There's no way that it can. But I had the thought, and the image that they used was really funny when I saw it. So I should have
Listen,
screenshot.
we don't have to look any farther than Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? As one of the main architects of the destruction of the Jedi Order. Of course, totally unwittingly, right? But that's one of my favorite things to say, right? I mean, he was just an utter failure in so many ways, but still one of the best Jedi, I think, that's ever existed. Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That's one of my problems with Filoni. Him making comments like Anakin is the greatest Jedi who ever lived, and I'm like, how could you say that?
It's just
you don't say. It's just improper word usage. He's not the greatest. Maybe he had the most potential. Maybe he was the most powerful besides Yoda or something. I don't know.
He certainly had the most midichlorians, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's it. But to say that he's the greatest Jedi ever, I'm like, what? And it's the same. Look, I'm going to make some people mad. I'm sorry, y'all. Love you. Thank you. I love y'all being here. And here you go. Luke Skywalker's not the greatest Jedi that ever lived. If you're talking about the greatest Jedi, it's got to be somebody that was like in the freaking Jedi temple being a Jedi. You know what I mean? Like I
don't know why. Maybe I'm just weird this way, but if anyone ever asks me who I think the greatest Jedi was, my answer is always Yoda. I always have to go back to Yoda. And that's not throwing shade at Luke. It's not throwing shade at Anakin or Obi-Wan either. But if you're asking me who comes to mind always, it's Yoda.
It's Rey, duh.
And by the way, Yoda, who also participated in Ahsoka's training, right? So I'm not saying that Ahsoka was unskilled in how she was instructed before she left the Order. Right? She just made a decision to go a different path, which I think was an important decision, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're not quite out of the woods yet. We got a couple.
We have a lot of things that are starred and stacked up. Do you want me to get to those now?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
yep,
I just noticed they've been stacking a little bit.
All right, Toddzilla with $5. Stoic, non-fun Ahsoka, forces female, no Luke versus Thrawn. Don't have high hopes, just Filoni's pet project. So, okay, I love this super chat, and you gave us so much to absorb there. So let's go through it piece by piece. So stoic, non-fun Ahsoka, and I've seen people saying, Toddzilla, that Rosario's portrayal of Ahsoka is a bit wooden. It's fair. So the thing there is, we've only seen her as Ahsoka twice, right, Matt? No,
in live action.
Yeah, in live action. Was it 3 times? It was.
Was she in 2 book? I've shut out so much of Book of Boba Fett. She was at least 1 time in Book of Boba Fett.
She was in 1. I want to say she was in 2 Mandos.
And no, she was only in the Mando called the Jedi.
Okay.
I don't think she appeared again in Mando, but I can't remember
Chat
if
said
she
us
was
right on
1
that.
time or 2 time in Book of Boba Fett.
So both times that we saw Ahsoka, I had no problems with what I saw.
Thrawn says 1 and 1. He should know because he has him on the watch list. 1 and 1 and 1.
All right. Thank you, Thrawn. So, but both times we saw Ahsoka in those shows, Rosario's Ahsoka. And again, we'll get it. Both times we saw Rosario's Ahsoka. She was really good to me. And I have full confidence. However, that being said, we have not seen her as the lead ever. She's the lead of a show. She better be the lead of the show. And again, that's a whole nother problem right there. If you're calling it Ahsoka and she's not the main protagonist. But can Rosario carry the show? I don't know, but I'm definitely hoping that she can. Okay, the Force is female. I have no comeback there. That's something that I struggle with.
Well,
Now
and
we'll
She
just
Wars now She Wars is becoming a thing I've
yeah,
noticed now on social media. She Wars.
we will see where that ends up. Hopefully Ezra shows up. I don't know. Who knows? Jason Sindula, somebody. We need some patriarchy somewhere besides the dark side. And now Chopper's a girl. Did y'all hear that? No, I'm just kidding. So,
Is she not? Maybe we need someone who's Kenough, right, Coach? We need someone who's
yeah,
Kenough.
exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
No Luke versus Thrawn. Yeah, that definitely will never happen. I don't think. Don't have high hopes. Just Filoni's pet project. So that last part right there, just Filoni's pet project. And now this is not like reason to get your hopes up, I don't think. But this is the part of the whole thing where this is the uncharted territory of it all. This is the new water of it all. Filoni has given us some of the very best Star Wars we've ever gotten on the animated side.
Yeah.
His animated series, some of his episodes that he did, not with George, some of his Clone Wars episodes, especially the end of season 7,
Yeah.
it is the highest rated Star Wars we've ever gotten, ever. Going back to 1977, it is the highest rated we've ever gotten. The only exception is that it tied chapter 16, like 9.9. Tied it.
Yep.
Okay. Besides chapter 16, he's got 3 episodes that are the highest ranked any ever.
And Ahsoka is a big part of that story, right?
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
all I'm going to say is I think whether it being Filoni's pet project is a good thing or a bad thing totally goes to people's opinion of Filoni as a storyteller. Even over and above everything you just said about his storytelling from an animation perspective, just generally speaking, for some fans, Filoni's just a little too much, right?
I
He's just
agree.
a little too full of Filoni, as I say, right? And just a
He
little
only cares
too-
about his characters, his creations. That is fair criticism. However, he might actually do this right because he cares so much.
That's where I'm at. That's
Yeah.
exactly where I'm at, right? Because and so some people are going to be, well, then why did he
Right there. He's
why
right.
why did he let Joby Harold write Kenobi? Right? I think a lot of people who also are expressing some misgivings here are saying, well, okay, so you bring out your A team or whatever for Filoni's pet project, but yet you let Kenobi flounder from a storytelling, from a production value, from an everything perspective, when it should have been the best thing you've ever done. It feels very lopsided.
So
Right?
this is where I'm at.
Even to Darth Simpus, it feels very lopsided.
I'm sitting up in the chair to say this, okay? Like, this is where I'm at. It would be the perfect story for George Lucas's Padawan to come in and save Star Wars before they killed it.
Because in that same featurette, he is mentioned when they're bringing up George. It is mentioned George is Filoni's master. Filoni is the Padawan to George Lucas. It is said explicitly in that featurette, which is what you've been saying this whole. Not only now is it a baptism by fire specifically, but now you've just doubled down on it. You've doubled down on it by putting something out there.
The trial of Dave Filoni
it.
begins Tuesday. And I hope he is innocent. But we'll see. Stay off the internet, Dave, if it's not good.
Well, and we're going to play the legacy one, right? Well, we'll keep going on
We
this,
are.
but the legacy
We are.
one that I have as the video, it's quite impactful when you see Rosario talking about some of this stuff too. But let me get back here to.
We love our boy Melvin. We love our boy Melvin. Melvin is always welcome at EBN.
Oh, that vid, I keep going.
Melvin would call me a shill right now too.
100%. Oh, 100%.
Because
be
I have
happy.
a little hope. You know what I mean?
He wouldn't be happy with us in this.
And I
stream,
love
that
him
guy.
anyways.
That's
I love him
a given.
anyways.
That's a given.
Melvin documented one of my entire wars that I fought on Twitter. It's so funny, dude. Against Kyle Katarn. Y'all go watch that. It's so funny.
Yeah.
That was me on Twitter going to war all day.
Dude, I that was a great. You can say a lot about Darth Melvin, like him, love him, hate him, whatever. His content is very well produced. It's very well researched. It's very well produced. And when I watched that video you sent me, I was like, wow, he really took some time on this.
My friend Tony White is in the house. Tony, good to see you, man.
Tony, good man. Played another long time one. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Debbie Young, $9.99 super chat. The first 2 episodes are supposed to be more like refreshing and bringing it up to date for those that need it. This is not new news. There is a crawl.
It's so just want to be specific before everyone's getting hopes up that it's going to be, and yellow letters and they're coming up. No, it's not that.
But do that again. Yellow letters.
Yellow letters, and everyone, and the music. No, and apparently the music's quite sad, quite sinister and sad. But it's more like what they did in Solo, which I'm probably the only one who even remembers what they did in Solo, right? For the 3 other people in the chat who remember the Solo movie, but the way they did that exposition at the beginning, from what I understand, is what they're doing in this series.
Good deal.
Still cool though. I'm not trying to diminish the coolness of it. It's just It's just
Debbie, we will see in about 48 hours, my girl. So wait, hold on. Today's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 72 hours, my girl. It's coming. Bazaar the Great is our newest Echo Base Network family member. He has joined our member family. Thank you so much for being here. That is amazing. And we got another member. We're going to play y'all a video in just a minute. Bazaar the Great.
Bazaar the Great. All right. Here's Darth Wizzy
Wizard. And Darth Wizzy Wizard. Great show as always, gentlemen. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Our next live stream, we're not leaving. We're not done. And don't forget, members, everybody, we're heading over to Discord. We're going to get ready for Ahsoka. Thrawn has some things that are queued up for us. We're going to be there in 30 minutes. No doubt about it. Thrawn, get yourself ready. Get the popcorn ready. All right. Darth Wizzy Wizard, great show as always, gentlemen. Look, this is our baby. This is our pride and joy. This community is very special to us. Nick and I have worked so hard to establish Echo Base Network as what it is. And it means something to us. And when we pop in chats as EBN on other channels, people are like, oh, EBN's here. And we're like, us? Thank you. Like I popped into Drunk 3PO's chat earlier and said, man, this you folks are always so good vibes over here, always. And he's like, Echo Base is here. And I was like, us?
And I have to say, that's a deference to the folks that show up every week routinely, whether it's at the chill streams or whether it's at the stream, and then they take that with them, right? They take the Echo Base Network, it follows them to these other places who are friends of the channel. And it's just wonderful, right? That sense of community and camaraderie and just familiarity.
And so many people who have their own channels that are kind of like, I don't mean this like we're over everybody, but there's like an umbrella at EBN where there's so many great content creators that are better than we are. That kind of started right here. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, totally.
Valiant Renegade pretty much started here, and now he's blew us away, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Mattuine with $10. I have nothing wrong with Sabine wielding a lightsaber. Whether she survives in a duel or not, a non-force sensitive person can live by the tenets of the Jedi. It worked for Chirrut. If they die, they die. So I'm with you.
So, but Chirrut's a great example, right? I would say Chirrut is force sensitive, right? So that whole the Wills business and some of the things that Chirrut embodied, to me, I think he's higher on the force sensitivity scale than we've ever been led to believe that Sabine is. He just didn't choose to wield a lightsaber, right? I mean, he was pretty on point with that walking stick, though. He didn't fool
Oh
around.
man, he was whooping folks. You know.
And so yeah, and I have to tell you honestly, as we've seen now a couple of times, lightsabers not as deadly as they used to be. You can be stabbed in the gut multiple times, multiple times and recover, right?
No one's ever really gone, Matt.
Revenge. Revenge
All right.
does a lot for the will to live, don't you know?
All right.
Don't you know? All right.
Keep it
going,
rolling.
Keep going.
Toddzilla, $5. I know I'll get hate. No, you won't. But I'm anti-lightsaber unless the timeline warrants it. After Order 66, there should be no Jedi until Luke builds his school. So I think that's a very intriguing point. The problem with that is that Disney likes to create new characters. Aside from that, and we don't like those characters either, but Ahsoka can totally have sticks and use them. But so with that exception, but I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I personally have been missing the sabers and the Force. Period. I've gotten way too much dark saber. And nobody with the dark saber has had the Force at all. Not one single person that has wielded the dark saber could use it with the Force.
And Coach, I have to say, even if you look back to things that George Lucas has said about Order 66, I think there were so many Jedi that the fact that more survived than we would like, to me, doesn't necessarily cause me undue discomfort. It's they introduce, like Balin and Shin are great examples to me, right? They introduce these new Jedi, former Jedi, fallen Jedi, one-time Jedi, whatever you want to call them, right? They introduce these new folks for story convenience, and they don't do a great job explaining how they got to be where they're at. Reva's another example of this, of course, right? And I think that's what people have an issue with. If I could guess, it isn't so much that they survived; it's that they don't seem to tell a compelling story about why they survived and where they were and what they were up to, and it feels very artificial as a result of that. Even the Jedi that ended up hanging in the street in Kenobi is another example. The one who came looking for Kenobi that he wouldn't help. Where did and it was just random. It's just random Jedi people popping up.
All right, so I love that. That's so funny because let's see, Burger Time. That boy is our last hope. No, there is another 100 Jedi that survived. Like.
Well, and if you want to try and explain that away further, as people have, he was referring to who could take this thing forward and lead it, right?
Yeah.
Who is going to be the leadership going forward, right? And I would believe then Yoda was speaking of obviously Luke or Leia. Keller and Beck wasn't on his list.
Yeah. And when I said nobody wielded the darksaber that had the Force, I was referring to live action, not Darth Maul. I stand corrected. I wasn't. I was only in the live action realm, but yes.
Oh, not
absolutely.
the first Vizsla either, right? I mean, originally the darksaber was Force wielded, but on your point, it just didn't last for obvious reasons.
And we haven't seen that in live action yet, but
correct.
But we could one day. Who knows? Yeah. If Ahsoka is great, maybe one day we'll get a live action Clone Wars show.
Bo-Katan. You think Bo-Katan's going to show up in Ahsoka?
I hope so. She's a girl. Why not?
Yeah. One more. So that would be okay with me. And anytime Katie Sackhoff wants to show up, she can show up.
It reminds me of one of those Barbie movies that my daughters used to watch. It's a mermaid party. Like that's how I feel going to Ahsoka, right? A little bit. Sorry.
Keep going. Keep going.
All right. Corso Travin has become a member of the channel. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Corso Travin, who has joined as a Jedi Master. Corso, Discord, be there in a few minutes. Watch this with us. Thank you so much for your membership, man. We are Echo Base Network. I got a video for you before we exit the stream. Donald J. Skywalker, you fired. My friend was confused by Anakin referring to himself as a master when not being. That is a reason why he turned. In Empire, he is our last hope. In Return of the Jedi, when gone am I, the last of the Jedi will you be? There's a whole lot of confusion about the whole master, other Jedi. Me and Matt Rissman literally had a phone conversation that lasted 30 minutes, and I had to get off the call because I was getting so frustrated about it all. Like, so here's the thing, and I'm going to say this knowing that it's, this is borderline heresy. Okay. George was brilliant and George did a lot of great things, but he has some continuity issues over time. I mean, it just is what it is, and like if he had not made Anakin have a Padawan that called him master and have younglings calling him master, and so many people saw it the way that I did watching the films, that only Jedi masters had Padawans. But as Matt Rissman pointed out, Obi-Wan Kenobi, fresh off being a Padawan himself, certainly no master during the end of The Phantom Menace. He was, in fact, a master to Anakin. So,
and on this point, Anakin feeling like he did everything he needed to do, including taking a Padawan, and still never becoming officially promoted, ranked as a master, was one of the main things that did contribute to his saying, well, you're not going to make me a master. I can do something. And he did. Right. So again, I think the progression of events there was purposeful, but you're right. So confusing, right? Every little youngling ever called him Master Skywalker. And I don't just mean at the very end, right? I mean, just as a matter of respect, as a matter of deference for somebody who was more skilled than they were. Just confusing, right? Just
correct,
confusing.
Reverence. I see you. I'm going to give you the Ahsoka
Oh no.
image here. That's for you, correct, Reverence, because I see you.
Oh jeez.
All right.
All right. Here we go. Keep going. Got to keep going.
The legendary Tron, he fights for the users, says, I'm doing all right, but I'm fighting a good fight. Might return in a week or so. Brother,
Awesome.
Positive energy your way. Prayers to you, my friend. Keep fighting. We love you, man. Do it. Let's see. Michael Bexey has, oh, man, we get so many new members tonight. This is amazing. I'm going to call Nick and brag. I'm like, hey, man, I ran a live stream and we got 87 new members, let's see. Michael Maxey, thank you so much for being here. I'm looking for him on my end and I'm not even seeing it. Oh, there he is. Brand new member, joined us at 8:29. Thank you, Michael. Welcome to the EBN family. Got a video for you. Hope that you join us over in Discord. Vanessa Floria with $1.99. Thanks for the membership. I missed who it was. Well, hey, so many people have gifted them, but thank you for sending that in, Vanessa, and we're glad you're here as well. All right, keep them rolling. Donald J. Skywalker at Echo Base Network. Luke is our last hope in Empire, not the best available candidate. I like Ahsoka, just don't think she should be alive at this point. It makes Luke a chump. It's going to be interesting to see if we get some Luke in the Ahsoka series. I'm oversimplifying this, but the fact that we saw Ahsoka with Luke in Mando, that was Luke's home. Ahsoka was there, chilling, hanging, helping, we think. We got to see him.
And those events ostensibly take place before at least some amount of what we're going to see here in Ahsoka. Again, I have to say, Coach, and this may just be a hope that I have that doesn't get fulfilled, clearly. But if the whole premise of the show is master and apprentice, if they don't somehow have Luke letting Ahsoka know that Anakin was ultimately redeemed, I think they've missed the storytelling boat in this series. And I don't think he would necessarily present himself to Ahsoka as a Force ghost until she understood somehow that was even a possibility. And so for me, I would hope that if they have Luke in the series, it's for that express purpose.
So what you just said there, where'd it go? Oh, Leslie. Leslie Tarkin says, I want a scene where Luke tells Ahsoka Anakin turn back to the light. Do we understand how important that scene is in Star Wars? We have to have that's a pillar. That is a cornerstone of Star Wars. Can we please say that? You know, Ahsoka has got to know it. And if Luke doesn't tell him, let Anakin's Force Ghost tell her. I killed the Emperor, Ahsoka, and it's because my son brought me back to the good. I'm okay if Anakin tells him. Actually, I'd prefer Anakin to be the one to tell Ahsoka, not Luke.
So I do think that if Anakin presents himself to Ahsoka in Force Ghost form without her understanding that that's a possibility, it's going to be because she needs help of some kind. She needs guidance. She needs a little nudge, right? Just like Obi-Wan nudged Luke, in the trench, right? I believe it would be because Ahsoka needs that. But again, just for me personally, I would love for the chain of events to be, us finally maybe even seeing the Luke and Ahsoka first meeting or re-meet or something where she has a conversation and maybe it's frustration on training Sabine. I don't know. But somehow you would think it would come up in conversations. Oh, by the way, Anakin, let me tell you what happened.
So,
Because
so
at
this
this
whole
point
thing,
they think the Emperor is dead.
this whole thing that we're talking about right now is something that we said last week. I said in a couple of my videos that I did this week. Here in the South, when I drive by, I don't fish. I'm a Southerner, but I don't fish. I used to go fish with my dad. I used to go hunt with my dad. My dad passed away, and I haven't been since. My daughters don't care nothing about it, and I'm not going alone. So I got a million other things to do. That being said, when I drive by a fishing place, I will see these older, wiser fishermen. They will literally have like 10 fishing poles all out there at the same time. And they're just sitting there waiting. And when they get a bite, they grab it, put the fish in the bucket, and they keep rolling. Put something else on, throw it back out there. 10. Star Wars with Ahsoka in this series is like that. You got 10 different poles out there in the water with all of these different connections that could happen. Rebels connection, Clone Wars connection, Return of the Jedi connection, original trilogy, prequel trilogy, Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi Force Ghost in the show or bringing him back up, Yoda bringing him back up, Anakin and Luke together, Ahsoka talking to Anakin's Force Ghost. So much going on, notwithstanding the current story. There's so many things that they can connect. There's so many possibilities. And if Dave hits a bunch of those, Star Wars is going to start to get healthy again. If he hits them none, it's a tremendous error.
And at this point, if he prioritizes and hits one or two, all the better, right?
Now, I
because
agree.
The impact is still there.
I agree. If you hit, you can't go for 10 because it waters everything down.
Yeah.
2 or 3 very powerful moments to wow us and then keep that going forward.
And wow us organically as a part of the story, and not just because I'm going to wow you now. Now you will be wowed, right? As we've sometimes feel like it happens organically through the story in a way that resonates and that you're like, yeah, okay, that just happened, and I could see why, I understand why. It really worked. I'm with you 100%.
Awkward silence.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Keep going, because I want to make sure
All
we
right.
have a chance to see this last video before we break, because I think that's
Let's go.
a good way.
All right. So this is our last one. We're going to watch a little video, go over with you guys that you don't want to miss. Lavery Adam with $5. In my opinion, Yoda destroyed the Jedi Order because the Force was out of balance toward the light side. And it all arcs back to the Old Republic when the Jedi and Sith split up. I hear you. Okay. So, a lot of people blame Yoda for being too arrogant, not turning a blind eye. All that happened under his watch. So I'm with you. And he failed. He failed to defeat the Emperor. So I'm with you on that. Thank you for sharing that, Lavery. We appreciate that very much. All right, let's cue this video up, everybody, and give this thing a watch. I'm going to mute that sound.
That's it. We all have.
What did she say?
So the premise here, how we were going to close the show is, how can this help heal Star Wars, right? So this whole premise of this video is all about legacy and what Star Wars means to Rosario and what she feels like.
I don't
she's
think
trying to
I've
get
seen
through
this.
series. Oh, this is great. This is really
right.
good.
So
But I think the
I'll tell you
music's
what.
okay. I don't know that the music will kill us here, but you kind of do need to hear what she's
Yep,
saying.
that's why I rewound it or went back. So,
Or if you want to put the captioning on, whatever your favorite way to capture what she's saying is, but I think the music will be okay.
You felt it. We all have. There's just a generational impact that Star Wars has had on my and so many families across the world. When I think of how much I love.
She's
I'm just
watching
gonna
the
pause
OT.
it.
What is she
Yeah, I'm gonna-
watching? She's watching the OT.
I'm going to pause it every few seconds, just for copyright sake. But so far, so good. And yeah. So I do want to ask Michael Collier, what's the dumbest thing? Like, you got to be more specific. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Tell us. We want to know.
Could have been anything that I said tonight,
Yeah.
right?
Me too.
Me and my
Hey,
poop takes.
If it was me, I'm just getting started, man. Here we go.
Yeah.
Loved it as a kid. To actually have the montrals on, the Leku and the costume, it just feels magical.
Okay.
When I watched The Mandalorian with my mom and I say, "May the Force be with you," she literally did like a slow turn towards me with tears in her eyes. I feel grateful to be a part of something so truly iconic.
It is cool that she likes Star Wars the way that she does.
And
she's very close friends with Hayden Christensen, by the way,
yes.
for years.
Yes.
Getting to play Ahsoka has been an absolute dream come true. It's very personal, and it's my honor to be Ahsoka. Her bravery, her passion, her power. Ahsoka is truly one of a kind.
So I'll say, I can tell you this right away. Our first story that we covered tonight, the main story was Pedro Pascal and how he might be leaving. Pedro Pascal doesn't give a rat's fart about Star Wars.
Agree.
And Rosario does. And that's why I am way more inclined to be in her corner than his. That's how I want people that love Star Wars in Star Wars.
And she did all the work, right? She went back and loved to catch up on everything. And in other discussions and other little clips or things, she said things like, "I find myself in the Ahsoka mindset now all the time, right? I bring that with me all the time as I'm interacting in real life." And I don't know, this video, I liked it. Again, the ATSD was falling over in the background, and again, they're doing things very nostalgic. Clearly, I get it. This is all the marketing they could muster, right, based upon the strike and all that. But I have to say, it's worked, at least for me, at least for this old guy, right? And seeing some of that.
So what you're saying right there is something that I think that the majority of us all know and understand too. And this is what Disney has not demonstrated that they know. Disney is in trouble. Talking about stock price, valuation, parks are empty, things are not going well. They're increasing the cost of Disney Plus. They're losing subscribers in droves. The company is starting to unravel, and it needs to. Okay. I am not a fan of Disney in any regard. I'm a fan of the Disney that I grew up with. Okay. That's different. I'm talking about now with their messaging and all of that stuff. And I don't want to turn it into that.
It's so funny, right? Because they're celebrating 100 years of Disney right now. So you and I are fans of 92-ish of those years. It's been the last, 8 years or so? And it's kind of been ruined a bit.
So, but my point is that Star Wars could be so powerful. It could bring Disney back to prominence, power, glory, fix all of their problems if they would just do it right. Because there is no fandom like Star Wars. We are in it forever. You know, so many people ask me all the time, why are you still watching? I have a Star Wars channel. That's why I'm still watching.
Just stop watching, Coach. If you don't like it, just stop watching.
Yeah, and I love Star Wars, and I want it to be fixed. It's not good. When it's not good, I'm going to say it's not good. You know what I mean? So that's just where we're at. Aurora Uplinks sends in a member chat. He says, Star Wars film, pirates loot a lost Star Destroyer, a shipment from Wayland. 5 clone Jedi children. They raise them and time skip to the children becoming Force-skilled pirates who Luke has to fight to win. Aurora loves writing fan fictions, and they seem to be really good. Thank you for sending that, bro. Finish the story and send it in. Let's see it. Yeah. That's awesome.
And by the way, Coach, the poll you put up a poll about Sabine's force sensitivity. We've had quite a few people took the poll. What is it at 82% is a no?
82%. I'm in it now. 82% say no, I do not want Sabine to be force sensitive. So thank you guys for participating in that. Look, we've had 34 new members tonight. I got to play this for our new members right now. We are UR Echo Base Network. Welcome to our member family. We are going to fulfill those perks, throw up those emojis, meet us over on Discord. Jedi Masters and Grandmasters, your name is going to appear in our pre-show, and we're going to do all those things for you and more. So thank you. And member streams as well. Pop-ins next week. So join us right here live on the show. But we are UR Echo Base Network, and this is for you.
Wonderful. We are now part of the tribe. That's what I always wanted.
And all of your super chats, member chats, financial contributions, we're just blown away by that. We couldn't do it without your support. Thank you so much. You make me feel like this. All right, everybody.
Before we go, Coach, that Admiral Akbar, another one. Do you think Admiral Akbar was very active around this time, New Republic, etc.? Do you think there's any chance Admiral Akbar in Ahsoka?
Our good friend Tim Rose could actually be making a Star Wars return? Is that what you're telling me?
Is it possible? Anything's possible, I guess. Do you think it's likely? I should ask a question a different way.
Well, see, so that's the thing. 5 years after, we know he was still around in the sequel trilogy, continuity-wise. How much New Republic are you going to give us? And if you're giving us New Republic, Admiral Akbar should be there. And oh yeah, this is what he really looks like.
Hello, my name's Tim Rose, and I'm with you here at Echo Base today. I've had a great time, and I played Admiral Akbar in Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, and finally in The Last Jedi. But the one thing that I seem to be remembered more than anything else is it's a trap.
We
And
love our
and
friend Tim Rose.
And the only reason I bring it up is, remember, we've seen that one shot where you have all the cruisers, right? It feels very Star Warsy, right? All the Republic cruisers are there, and we're obviously led to believe the purpose is to have that conversation, with Hera but could Akbar be? Who knows? It's possible. Akbar could
Yeah.
be there someplace.
Absolutely. Well, members, get ready to head over to Discord, all members. And if you have access to our Discord, we'll pull you over into it too if we can, Risman. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
we got some Ahsoka to catch up on. I think we're watching some Clone Wars season 5, some very specific episodes that Thrawn has pulled out for us to better appreciate what we're about to see this coming week. We will be back all week long, guys, with this Ahsoka dropping in the prime time on Tuesday. So be ready for that. Patreon videos here, live streams. Nick will be live streaming on Thursday, chill stream. There's a possibility he could move it to Wednesday, but right now the plan is Thursday, and he will have a member stream on Sunday. I will be back here next Saturday night for our Star Wars main show. I may pop in with Nick here and there too. We might do some things together with Ahsoka, so just be watching. Thank you all for being there. Everybody, as we hit the exit, please throw up some of those EBN emojis. Just tear it up. We love you guys very much. Thank you for being here. You just don't even know how much you all mean to us, really. Thank you, Matt, for running the show with me today and putting everything together the way that you did.
Thanks for having me as always, and so great to see so many of our friends here in the chat. Hope to see the members on Discord here in a minute. Yeah.
The force is strong with you. We are going to get through the ups and downs together as always. We are your Echo Base Network. See you guys on the next live stream. See ya. Coach and Nick from Echo Base Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Goodbye, everybody. I hope you like seeing me on the prime time this Tuesday. Yeah.